All right, so now we're back, folks. Sorry about that. It looks like Kozan got back just in time, and in the bottom right, in the blue, he is Solar.
In the bottom left side, there is another Dragon Phoenix gamer man. It is Cure. He's looking a bit yellow. Just like the yellow of the Alpha Axe and the Dragon Phoenix logo, actually. 2 yellow dragons. Who could have guessed?
Man, what a transition there, Kozan. Yeah, sure, maybe the game started faster than we expected, but you, my friend, you're on top of it. Well done. Well,
Hey.
you know, who's also on top of it.
On the toilet.
There we go.
There we are. No. Yeah, we have a double proxy Rex here.
We do.
Could be pretty interesting, especially because Solar's gone for the spawning pool first. Which, in theory, should mean that he's gonna stomp this for at least the initial part of the game. But then again, sometimes people still make mistakes. Glorious misclicks do happen sometimes.
Sometimes I actually fly Kozan, but just because that's theoretically a possibility, it doesn't really make things happen here, unfortunately.
Well, look, I'm not saying that just because, when I play, somehow in some panicky moments, the mouse is suddenly upside down. But, it might happen to one of them. Who knows?
Yeah, but unfortunately in this game, this is very much a Solar read. Solar is, he figured out, maybe this is the fact that it's late, maybe the fact that honestly Cure's TVZ has looked pretty shaky as of late. He's either just gone hard greed, 3cc, late game, try to win with Ghosts, or he's like down to 3 racks or something like that. Interestingly enough, we do see the bunker actually at least getting started on the high ground, but yeah, Solar just saying, look, okay, fine, you can do this thing, sure. I'm gonna go find your reinforcements. I'm gonna sit on top of them. You don't get anything coming on in, which means the bunker doesn't get up. The Queen's here. This has gotten nothing done. But Kozan, I would like to remind you that, man, proxy 2, 3, 4 racks is just the most broken build. I don't think I've ever seen it lose in a competitive TVZ.
Yeah.
That meme is less that meme is less applicable now, as Mario is not doing this every single game and winning every single game with it. But
It's true. It's true. It's just I feel like you gotta hide that third barracks nowadays, and then it confuses the Zerg to the point where they send their Zergs or their Zerglings and their drones in, and then you just kind of shoot them.
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny. I mean, we didn't see any damage here from Cure outside of the fact that, oh, sure, Solar went pool first. Maybe that's something. Maybe that cuts down on the mine. It doesn't, folks, just so we're clear. But maybe it does. We're going to ride Hopium for a second because that's what casters do. The goal of a 2 racks is not to kill a base. The goal of a 2 racks is to kill drones. How many drones died that game? This game?
Not that many. Not that many at all. Was there one? I don't think there was. Was there?
Oh, not a single one. I think like 2 Lings died and that was about it.
Yeah. Like, sometimes you can make the case, if you kill enough Zerglings and you force out more and more Zerglings of the Zerg, then it's kind of doing the same thing as killing drones. But, yeah, that didn't happen either. So, you're just in a rough spot here.
What is it? Are those Widow? I didn't see the production. Are those Hellions or those Widow Mines in that medevac?
I think I saw 1 Hellion, so I'm assuming the rest of them are Hellions too. Oh yeah, there we go.
There we go. Triple drop in the main.
Oh, jumping for them. There's Zerglings here somewhere. There's. Okay. There's 5 drones. Not bad.
Yeah, you'll take that, especially with how little damage they took in that, because of course 3 Hellions, they do one-shot workers. So we're gonna have to see. I mean, at this point, Solar's kind of handled the mischief. He should be okay, but this is a start, Kozan. We're not there yet.
Yeah, for sure.
But this is a start.
For sure, yeah. It would have been nice if he gotten like 5 more, then it would have, you know, been a bit more of a comfortable work account there. The difference. Well, actually, yeah. You know what? It's okay. It's well, no. Second guessing myself. Yeah, I'm wondering if Kjør can still pull this back. And I mean, you know, Terrans, they are quite well at setting up a defensive post, and sometimes, in particular Zergs, right, they do want to get a bit too aggressive. They're like, oh, I'm in a great spot. They start pushing. That could very well still happen here. And if one of those fights goes horribly wrong, right, just one misjudged attack somewhere from Solar, and this could just roll back into Kjør's favor here. That's kind of where I see this match right now.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, again, Kjør has been playing a lot of late-game TVZ. As of late, he's been really leaning into that. And you might say, okay, well, maybe he turtles it out long enough. But the thing I'm worried about is just Solar's going to grow to a point where he's at so many workers. But hey, maybe, oh, the target fire there on all the bays. Wait a minute here. What do we have from Solar on this side of the map? It's effectively a 2-rack. The banelings get target fired down as they spawn. Yeah, 18 lings are on the way, but they're not here just yet. Queen's going to go down. This is an entirely dead mineral line Kozan, and it was not looking good for Kjør, but you kill 15, 16. You kill 20 workers. It doesn't even matter anymore. I would posit that it does not. There we go. One medevac gets down. Less the Marines. They're going to try to trade as carefully as they can, but that's something. He'll take that.
That was really good. Man, the Hellions were at the top at the 3rd base, and they were controlling the movement for all the Queens there, and still a couple of Zerglings as well. If all of that was in the main base, or somewhere close by the main base, that probably would have been a lot easier of a hold there for Solar, and he wouldn't have lost anywhere near the working numbers. But yeah, you know what? I even though it was only 2 or 3 Hellions, he kept them alive, and it allows you to get those further opportunities down the line.
Absolutely, and Kjør's kind of realized, okay, well, you know, that worked. That worked really well. What if I do it again? What if I do it again? But now, what if I have tanks in my medevacs? What if I have still 16 Marines, but again, you do add those 2 tanks. Now, I do love the addition of the Spore here from Solar. Makes it a little harder to do the high ground drop immediately, but tanks are going to siege up now. Transfuse on the Spore. There we go, and with the slow fields, maybe the Queens can get a couple shots off. But Kjør is playing this map kind of like you'd see a Golden Wall get played, with that just siege up position, the 2-base push. And we're going to have to see how well Solar can deal with this, because Baneling speed is now done. It's not as easy to target fire down like 5 Banes and have that be it.
Yeah, this is quite difficult. Looking at the supplies, you know, Solar's drone count looking magnificent, but the army supplies just not up to snuff right now to really combat the force that is set up on his doorstep. He has a couple of Zerglings across the map as well, ready to attack a potential 3rd base, but it's not there, not yet anyway. Kjør going for a lot more aggression initially before setting up his own 3rd base economy. And it looks like it's going to pay off for him.
I think
unless
yeah, Kjør, Solar kind of realized that Kjør was very much all in here, but there we go, 11 workers go down.
Jeez Louise.
They're in the main base now, so here's the question. Does Kjør react on the other side? Yes, he does. Stimming on in. We have no Banelings here just yet. Looks like there's one. A couple more will morph soon. 19 workers go down, and yeah, Solar lost 19 of his own, but we got to remember, he's back up at 70.
Okay, Kjør's got to kill the main base now with this push, I would say. This is... I mean, he has got 75 army supply versus 46, and this is Siege Tank Marine with upgrades about to finish up here. Okay, that is going to finish up. And it's just against the 1-1 Ling Bane for the time being. And I'm not even sure if he has... How many Banelings is this? Okay, that's a fair amount. It's not terrifying, though, you know? It's like 2 or 3 good Siege Tank shots, and what do you got left?
Yeah, it really will come down to this split series. Now, again, Kjør, his life's on the line in this game. He made a good move to come back into it, but losing so much of his economy, that's a bit of a problem. Of course, we do have a couple tanks in the main base, and tanks, they'll say everything. The target fire! Look at the target fire on these Banes, Kozan! That is ridiculous, but it's because Solar is microing on the other side. Both players say, look, to hell with my base. I don't really care. If I can kill you on the other side, that is going to be worthwhile, and I think the calculus is still saying that is a better idea for Solar than it is for Kjør, especially as that +1 armor. Look at it. It's going to burn down here. We got to keep an eye on that one. But for now, the bio, they're stimming on in once again here into the main base. Now putting pressure on the lair, but the tanks aren't really there to back up just yet. They got to run on forward. Now they're going to get airlifted, sieged on in. And as this position becomes even scarier for Solar, well, okay, yeah, +1 armor will be denied. The run bys continue to find value. There's no wall here anymore. This is it for Cure. He's got to make this happen right here, right now. The army of Solar looking to run on in, but the army's not really working. The splits are going to be fantastic. And look at that. The Lings, the mains, they're all going down. More and more bio getting forced into the main base. And Cure, he has no army. He has no economy to speak of in this game, but his army is falling apart here. It's down 23 army supply. The Queen's starting to run out of energy. And Hydras versus tanks, Kozan, that's not the army that you're looking for in this game.
Yeah, for sure. It's a point that Rainer's making in the chat that maybe Solar should have given up this main base here, and you know, that doesn't sound too bad of an idea. He's wasting so many good units now into this already pre-set up siege tanks line, but you know, I mean, if he does wipe this out now, yeah, he's got it. He's got it.
Oh man, the upgrade's really coming in clutch there. Lacking the armor, I mean, the Marines couldn't tank. They couldn't survive all that well. So when you run out of the buffer, you run out of the Marines on those tanks, suddenly the tanks get run upon. The Lings, the Hydras, they kill them off, and there we have it. GG, what a game. Solar takes game 1. And in the bottom left, in the blue, he's Solar.
And the top right side, in the yellow, it's a Terran player, a Dragon, a Phoenix, and a Gamer, all in one. It's Cure. Imagine that. Having the time to be a Dragon, a Phoenix, and a professional gamer. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's pretty impressive, but the question really is whether he can channel the second portion of his team, or his nature, and rise like a Phoenix after a game 1 where he kind of got build order countered and did a great job of coming back, but still.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what are the odds that 2 Phoenix don't manage to make a comeback happen, right? That would be weird. We already saw Rogue getting killed 2-0. Are we going to see Cure as well falter here?
Oh man, imagine Rogue versus Cure in the losers match. In the elimination match.
Wow. Well, I mean, Solar winning this is, I feel like, more anticipated than Ragnarok versus Rogue. Although Ragnarok versus Rogue is, you know, it's still a ZVZ. That is just a powder keg. That is waiting for someone to make it explode. Right? It's a match of 2 guys running to the same explosive barrel at the same time, both holding a fuse, blowing it up, and then just seeing who lives, in a way.
Yeah, pretty much. But, and especially, as you said, especially in a best of 3. And especially when you have a player like Rogue, who, as kind of Rainer said, he's another one of these players that he throws a couple builds at a wall and says, I hope it works. Because really, ZVZ is so much of a mind game, so much of a, not a coin flip necessarily, but there are so many builds that kind of hard counter other builds that if you're going to do anything off standard, it really is just how much mud sticks.
How much mud sticks?
Yeah, when you throw it at the wall.
Oh, right. I thought you were asking me how much mud sticks, like I wanted to buy some mud sticks or so. I was like, this is this is a weird question. But yeah, I mean, you know, mud sticks. I'm derailing this joke quite heavily now, huh?
Well, you know, Kozan, I'll bring it back here. It makes sense. Creep is effectively living mud. So the question is, when you throw creep at things, how much of it sticks? And how much of it gets cleared away by relentless Terran pressure?
You know, Cure would do quite a bit of this. He definitely will. Kind of wondering if he's going to try to do some sort of a Hellion pressure again. I'm not seeing any Hellions on that production tab just quite. Oh, there they are. Okay.
Ooh.
So they will be making their appearance. Nice catch on that drone.
Get 2.
Gets that one too. Wow. Okay.
Oh man,
that's a start.
That was sexy. Utilizing the grenade to put the drone just far enough away that Solar would go for the extractor cancel, and then he didn't get it. And then the second one again, just you occupy the same space on the extractor means the extractor doesn't happen, and then you get 2. That should never happen. That should actually never happen, losing 2 drones like that. So Cure, I mean, does this win the game for him? No. Is this an excellent moral victory? Absolutely.
Yeah, a little bit meta, you know? It's gonna stick in Solar's head here as well. That he should have had a queen there, right? More than enough time to have a queen in the main base, but just couldn't quite rescue the situation there.
Ooh, a little bit of a surround here though, coming on in. It's only 2 Hellions, doesn't really kill Lings all that quickly. But there's enough space here, even as the queens arrive. The Hellions will stay alive, and of course, we talked about the 2 ways Kier can play. He can play super freaking aggressive, or he can go for a 250 third base, go for a 1-1-1, and do that thing. We got the second one. We had the first one, game 1. We have the second one in game number 2. And of course, he's got a Viking on the map looking for overlords. We're going to see a Liberator start harassing rather soon. And this means that Solar has really all the time in the world. He doesn't have to build that many Lings for quite a while, because the Hellions were kept at home for the chance of a run by. So Solar has been able to grow, like Zergs like to do.
Yeah, it does mean that there's 8 Hellions on the map right now. There's also Liberators coming in, so I imagine the aggression is going to turn up quite a bit here. Solar does have his Zerglings across the map as well. It's actually going to trigger these Hellions to try and run back all the way across the map. Not sure if I like that choice, but it's going to take him a while.
Yeah, Hellions are speedy boys, and they say, yeah, we'll barbecue something. Losing 2 SCVs, though, makes up for the mental damage from earlier when you lose the drones. Clearly, that's how that works. We're going to ignore the fact that the drones were killed a full 2 minutes earlier, and therefore worth a lot more. Where did that Liberator siege up that it got? Generally, you get like 1 or 2 kills just because of your siege position as the drones get pulled away. I'm getting nothing like that. Great handle there from Solar, but Kier's doing a good job knocking the Lings on down. And we're just gonna, yeah, okay, Viking's gonna go down here too. But Solar, he's doing a good job of growing. He doesn't have a 4th base on the way just yet. That feels a little bit late in this game state where Kier has really just been extremely heavy on the greed. We're gonna have to see if that comes back and punishes him, but for now, well, they continue to grow.
Yeah, the 3rd base is quite nice for Kier, having that available. He's doing all right with the creep spread denial. It's not growing too much yet. There we go. Another creep tumor gets burned. So that is going to allow him to create these opportunities for later down the line, right? If he is he making anything but Marines? I don't think so. So yeah, once his Marine parade is ready, he's going to start marching them down these tracks here that he's made available for them.
We got to remember, right, that if you do go for as quick of a 3rd base as Cure did, you're not going to have a lot of Marine production. It's the same concept that you see in pretty much any Hellion Banshee play. Marine production is delayed. It does make Mutas more powerful. Not that we see Muta play this game. So, yeah, the rally is a little bit slower. There was less for us to talk about in the early game outside of ludicrous 3 per micro. Thank you, Cure. Thank you very much for that one. But now at least we have something happening here. Hellions at home doing a pretty good job of making sure this Ling run by is not successful. And because the 4th base of Solar is so delayed, there's a chance that Cure can make something happen. But Lings and Banes are here, even if they do not have speed. They're going to be fine. And realistically, Cure is not going to want to push until it really seriously push until at least he has his first set of upgrades. Most likely 2-2. So, hey, be on the lookout for a 4th base. There it is. It's on the way right now. Look at that, caster timing. We're not going to see too much happening here, but oh, wait a minute. Look at these Banelings, all the splash damage. So many of them are going down. That's a big problem here for Solar. You got to make sure you got your splash units, especially as, I mean, we don't have Baneling speed just yet. So Cure, as much as we say, he's not going to push yet, he doesn't have his upgrades. If he kills off 10 Banes, well, that makes it a whole hell of a lot easier. Looks like we have a run by on the other side getting cleaned on up by the rally. Cure is just doing everything he can in this game.
Yeah, definitely having some success. Liberator also starting to siege up. It's not getting anything game ending just quite yet, but definitely making some power plays here, putting himself in a great position overall. Looking at the supplies, 20 supply ahead just about for Cure. He's equal on workers. And then just ahead on army supply, so that's absolutely great against the Ling Bane player. Of course, army supply can be a bit tricky sometimes to estimate. Seeing how the Baneling, you know, 2 of them are just the 1 supply. But I'm seeing more Lings than I'm seeing Banelings, and that definitely has me worried here for Solar.
Yeah, I think we need to start calling Cure Liberace, or Liberace, I guess, with how good his Liberator harassment has been in this game. And, oh, that's a bad Widowmine shot. They're knocking down the Overlord instead of the Lings, but there we go. That one, that'll be just a little bit better. But again, Cure's really happy here. The goal of that, sure, if it kills Solar, amazing, wonderful. But, I mean, again, he went for a quick fourth. We're going to see Ghost Academy go down there soon enough. His 2-2 is on the way. That's the downside of going for this greed. Your upgrades will be slightly delayed. But his game is just keeping Solar honest. And in this game where the Zerg has as many bases as the Terror, Widowmine. Jeez, wow. Widowmine's figured that sometimes. In this game where the Zerg has as many bases as the Terran, I mean, the world is Cure's oyster.
Yeah, I mean, he is just in a wonderful position here. Now on two sides of the map, both angles being quite awful situations in a way for Solar here. Cannot expand, cannot get his creep out any further than pretty much the closest perimeter to these bases that is possible. Has some running with the Banelings now and again, but really can't get too much done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe we want to see a fifth base from Cure rather soon, but he's denied the fifth base of Solar here. He's doing a good job. We're going to see the Spore actually be really useful, but a push on the right side. Kozan, I don't see any Banelings. I see like one here going on in. So yeah, sure, that's not it, but it's going to be good enough anyways. Cure, he takes it, folks. We're going to go game 3.
Solar always one of these players, right? That we talk about him a lot. I guess it's the same for Cure, where you're just anticipating them to win a tournament at some point in time, because they are just that good, you know? But, well, and they just keep missing out just a little bit.
I mean, Cure did win GSL last season, or last year. Won season 1 last year. So, but it's actually kind of funny, right? He won, he finally got his GSL. He finally did it.
I forgot about that.
And then he just kind of disappoints. he reaches the high and he goes, Arr! I mean, he kind of disappointed in Katowice. He disappointed in GSL Season 1 of this year. And I mean, we have really high standards for Cure. So saying he disappoints when he doesn't make top 8, say, is not fair. But, I mean, he really didn't even make top 10 of the GSL. He did not make... he didn't make the playoffs of Katowice, so I think it's fair to say that that actually is a disappointment for a player of Cure's caliber. So we're gonna have to see. But also, you know what, Kozan, before things get too much further here, I gotta say I'm really excited. Hardwire has given us some of the greatest ZVTs I've ever seen. What a map to be our decider.
All right. What do you specifically like about Hardwire then for the TVZ?
It's big. It's long games.
Okay. Nice.
Ooh, long game make Beo happy.
Long games. Well, yeah, I mean, they're usually the more epic ones. Although, you know what, that series between Ragnarok and Rogue, maybe that's just some Alpha X bias. Yeah, that could happen, but that was pretty cool too. Which is kind of, you know, it's over before you can really have a good look at it, and then you're just left there scratching your head and you're just wondering like, how the hell did that all happen?
Ooh, I want to point something. It's really small, and normally we don't talk about Ling Reaper interactions, but we've seen a lot of Zergs recently go for 6 Lings instead of 4, right? Because six Lings on the logic that I'm not going to lose anything. It's going to be okay that I don't lose anything, and to get those 2 extra. But he lost 2 Lings. And he went for 6. So that is effectively a drone, maybe even more than a drone, that Cure got that he should not have been allowed to get. So his Ling Bait, or his Reaper Micro, again, in this early game, has been exceedingly effective through the first couple games of this series. We're going to have to see. I don't think he gets 2 drones. That is like a 1 in 100 game. But still, he's doing a good job of just being relentless here.
Don't you underestimate Cure now. It would be quite a challenge, though. I admit that. I do admit that. He's bringing the Hellions along. They'll do that job quite well. Oh my god, is that what I think it is?
This feels really bad. This feels really bad for Cure fans right now. We have a Fusion Core on the way, and a Roachborn is over halfway done.
Let's do it. I'm in for it, man. I love these Battlecruiser plays. You know, bit hit or miss. I'll give you that. But if it works...
Oh, wait a minute. He's going to get the Scout. That is so big now. He's going to be able to get Banshees.
Yep. Nah, you should just still go for battle cruiser.
No, you do not go battle cruisers when you know there's an early Roach Warren. You get those banshees, and then you go into the BCs.
Let's make it happen.
I mean,
Pump them
Kozan,
out.
are you saying you want a ZVZ in the winners match? Is that what you're saying? You want to see Cure versus Rogue in the elimination match?
Just more TVZ then, potentially, right?
Cure, you saw the Roach Warren. Is this like a double blind here where Cure says, oh, I scouted it?
Hey, no. This is for the fans. Don't you get it? He's doing this for the fans.
Yeah, the fans want good games.
He read it. Solar's going back into drones.
Well, yeah, you don't...
Yeah.
Wait, so how many roaches did he make?
I don't think that many. It got scouted. Why would you go for roaches if it gets scouted?
I don't know, Solar. Why are you going roaches when they got scouted?
He's obviously gonna make banshees, right?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is still a fair amount, actually. But that's a good amount of Hellions. He's got the bunker.
Oh, this is a mistake. Cure, he got the scout. But now it's a 7 roach pressure, and like, BCs don't kill these. You're gonna lose stuff. Hellions don't do this.
Hellions do this. What you know, as long as the roaches are kind of lined up, they do a surprising amount still to roaches. Yeah, you see, he's fine. Nothing to worry about. 3 SCVs. Ain't too bad. He's got how many aliens still? 4 of them. He's got Marauders, Marines, a battle cruiser of all things you could have. It's the best thing to have.
Yeah, and you know what? He's going to get immediate counter pressure on the other side. He's going to get 7 workers instead of losing 3. So, you know what? Color me wrong. Cure knows more than I do. The typical response of, oh, Roach is just hard countering, but also I guess, yeah, Solar didn't commit it into it hard enough because he had been scouted. So 7 workers go down and an Overlord goes down. Cure finds himself, at least he's happy. I wish we had webcams for this thing so we'd see the little smirk maybe. But yeah. Cure's pretty happy. He got his 3rd base.
I mean, that was a bit lucky for Cure as well, right? If Solar knew it was going to be battle cruises, he probably would have committed a lot better.
Line him up.
A lot stronger. Oh, nice.
Okay.
Piping hole. Right off the bobby. Come and get them.
I'm not going to say anything because, you know, as someone who has played Zerg on occasion, that just makes me very sad. Realistically, though, we talked about how good Solar had on the build order plays, and then Cure just mind-gamed the hell out of him. That is 22 drones that have died in the last 2 minutes. Solar, he has a 3rd base and he has above 60 workers, but it is not a good situation. He's trying to bank up some gas to overbuild Corruptors to do something, but there is a single BC on the map. This is bio play behind this. Going any sort of Corruptor player, even if it's Mutas, is just, it's going to fall victim to the eventual stim timing that is coming in the next minute.
You think so? I don't know. I'm still kind of liking Solid. Does he not have a Baneling Nest? Is that, no, he does. He's getting speed right now as well, right? I feel like he's got his 4th base coming along. That's not incredibly early, but he's on 69 workers. That's still solid.
I'm talking about the army here. Solar has had to spend so much larva on his drones at this point that, I mean, he's going to lose this 4th base. Canceled, not killed. There we go. That's a good start. Or at least you didn't lose more money. And the Banelings are going to be enough to force Solar back, but it's a 3-base Terran versus a 3-base Zerg. 1-1 is on the way. There is stim. There are combat shields. It means the Mutas can't fight very well. Cure's just going to find the base again. This time, it's just going to die instead of getting canceled. That's 375 minerals down the drain. And the Banelings are all going to get targeted down here. Cure is dominating this game 3, and it's going to take the effort of ages for Solar to come back. Oh, you're going to lose some Mutas too.
Yeah, I would like to see him try and take the 4th place on the other side, although that being said, as I'm, you know, saying that, there's another drop going into the main base. Or no, that's the battle cruiser, actually. So that probably would have been a little bit easier to defend there, but yeah, Solar's in trouble. He's in doggy doo-doo, my friend. Deep doggy doo-doo.
That he is. Remember this battle. Oh, looks like we got some good Baneling target fire on the bottom side. Gotta remember here, this should be picked up running away. There we go. Good job, Cure. We gotta remember that battle cruiser can teleport out. It's gonna be fine. As again, the fourth base aggressed upon. There's nothing here. Nothing defends it. For the third time, it gets denied. 2 cancels and a kill. That's effectively that's a base and a half right there. 450 minerals. There we go. Down the gullet that Solar has lost. And Cure's got his fourth base on the way. I mean, Solar has to do a miracle. He has to pull. Kozan, what level of miracle does Solar have to pull out of his hat to make this work?
It's gonna have to be a big one. I mean, does he have burrowed? That could work. Burrowed Banelings, but or a perfect surround that could work. If Cure overextends with these units, which is not something he's doing either, well, never mind then, I guess. Oh no, he's moving back. Right, if you get a really good fight against those units, if you trade super nicely, maybe you'll be able to do some counter harassment with those Mutalisk again. Run a Baneling or 2 in on some working line, and blammo, you're back in an okay position. But yeah. That's 2 things that would kind of have to go into Solar's favor here.
And man, yeah.
They're not doing that. Just not allowing that.
No, man, it is telling that we are 10:30 into this game, and in the game that Solar and Mutas, and this is the first time we're seeing. Oh my God, the Widow Mine! Oh no, that's not what you wanted. You're trying to make a comeback, Evan. You lose 15 Banes off the top just like that when it buys Cure so much ability to stim on in. There is no creep. There's only the creep spread given by the base, so there's nothing really to keep Cure from moving on in. But here we go. Solar's gonna have to go for the break. It is now or never. There's upgrade parity Widow Mines once again knocking down Banes. The army moving on forward, but it looks like for the moment Solar will be able to haul back as more creep queens go down. Cure's just winning every fight. He is everywhere where he needs to be, and maybe some good Baneling shots. I don't know. But it's going to take a lot here. Maybe he can do what he did to Hero Marine, but now he's going to move on in, hoping that the army's not set up. Widow Mines go down. But there are more where that came from, Kozan.
Look at that. Look at that. Just breeze spread already available here for Cure. He's just going to slowly keep on marching forwards, each unit at a time. A Thor's coming in as well to play. This is an incredibly rough position. Solar trying to do a run around on the other side of the map as well. So we're going to see some SCVs dying here. Oh no, that is actually the Mutalisk. Missile turret repair being strong, and not sure how long that is going to stay alive though. But Solar keeps this base alive. That's pretty good for him.
No, he doesn't. It's going down in just a second, and we're just not looking at it because we're dealing with harassment on the other side. Great micro there from Solar on the bottom side. He just hot-picked up individual Marines to dodge the Banes. I mean, Cure is just looking indomitable in this game. Another fourth base goes down. I guess the more aggressive one is on the way, but Cure keeps all of his bases alive. He loses 12 SCVs, sure, but a lot of those mutas die in the exchange. And it's, I mean, look, shout out to Solar here for staying in this game. He's doing a really good job with a really crappy hand. But unfortunately, sometimes you just got to know when to fold.
I mean, I can understand from Solar's perspective, though. You would so much rather win this game and then have just a ZVZ versus Ragnarok with a potential of moving through, rather than the ZVZ versus Rogue. And then still having to do another match behind that as well.
Yeah, potentially another match versus Cure as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Regardless, I mean, staring down the barrel of either another match versus Cure or double ZVZ is not good when you're trying to get out of a group. Doesn't matter how good your ZVZ is. It's terrifying. It really makes life rather hard. So again, Solar's going to try to sandbag this game. At this point, he's got to find some way to take one really big fight. What he did to Hero Marine on Berlingrad and Katowice. And, I mean, look at this free split that Cure has set on up here. It's just making it so hard for that fight to get found on out here. The Marines, maybe they're clumped up just a little bit. Widowmine shot says, no. No, you don't get to make that one happen. But the army's a little bit smaller. The Thors are low here. Zergling spilling on in. 3-3 not just done here for the Terrans. The Lings are going to take the fight. Muta's on the high ground. They're going to be able to magic box on the Thor as well, but he plays on the low ground too. Look at the fancy micro. Look at the moves, but it's not going to be enough. Solar forces Cure back. But there are two armies where that came from. It's not just, well, not just the one.
Not just the one. There's another attack as well coming in. Those Medivacs, they are flying across. Solar finally having a full space again. Is you know, just can't stick that feather in his hat. But, well, I'm not sure if it's going to get much further into this. Especially because he's still on Lingbane Mutalisk, right? If he had some sort of another attack available, if he already had some Infestors or Vipers or something to be really cost efficient with, you know, you could give him a bit of a shot, but this is incredibly rough. He may just try to go for a base race or something if Q ever tries to push him as well. Because look at that army supply. You're not going to win a straight up base army versus army fight.
You know, and we've been talking this game about how, look, Cure Solar is dead. Solar is dead. There's not, you know, we're trying to talk about maybe there's some comeback potential. We need to give credit here to Cure for an incredible game. Actually, incredible 2 games. He had the soul read on just how much the Roaches would be committed to. He had a soul read on when exactly he was going to win that game. It's right now. So Cure versus Ragnarok is going to be our winners match, folks.